Hey everybody, welcome to OhHappyRayz. I'm Kyle, and today we're going to be doing something completely different than what we typically do with our travel blog. Today we're going to be doing a running shoe review over Kinvara 11 by Saucony. But before we get into the review, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss out on any future reviews or content. Now, it may seem a little strange that a travel blog would want to do a shoe review, but there is a reason behind that, and that reason is because we do a travel section on Walt Disney World, and we also just happen to run at Walt Disney World. And this coming year in 2021 of January, Abby and I are going to be participating in the hardest challenge that they have, and that is the Dopey Challenge. The Dopey Challenge is a series of 4 races over 4 consecutive days, consisting of a 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon. So that totals 48.6 miles in 4 days. If you would like some more insight on the Dopey Challenge, be sure to check out our website at OhHappyRayz with a Z.com. My wife Abby is actually doing a journal entry each month from now until January to track our progress and kind of give you the ins and outs of our training and what's working and what's not working for us as we move along and progress towards race day. So be sure to check that out. But as for now, we are going to get right into the review. So what I want to do first is go over 4 reasons why Abby and I decided to give the Saucony Kinvara 11 a test run. Not really a test run because we bought the shoes, so now we're kind of stuck with them. But hopefully it's a good stuck. Hopefully we like these. So the first reason why Abby and I decided to try the Kinvara 11s is price point. The price point on this shoe is pretty darn good. This shoe costs $110 if you were to go on the Saucony website and purchase it right now. We actually got a little bit better deal because we bought these over Memorial Weekend off the Saucony website, and they were running a 25% sale. So we actually got the shoes for, I believe, $82 to $85, somewhere in that range, which is a heck of a price for a running shoe. That's actually it's not impossible to beat, but it's pretty hard to beat, especially for the latest model of a shoe. You can typically go get like the Kinvara 10s for around $70 or less right now. If there's any left, they're becoming harder and harder to find, as my wife was finding out as she was doing some searching. So getting these at around $80 to $85, A-okay. Number 2, lightweightness. The lightweight factor of these shoes is something that I'm really excited about. The Kinvara 11 comes in at around about a 7.8 ounce for men's and around 6.9 ounces in women's. And that's significantly lighter than what Abby and myself currently use with our daily trainers that we use now. My Saucony ISO Ride 2s, I believe, come in somewhere between 9 and 10 ounces. And then Abby has been using the Asics Gel Nimbus for the past couple of seasons, and hers, I believe, are somewhere between 10 to 11 ounces. So that's a pretty significant amount of weight cut off our feet. So hopefully we can start getting some better PRs because of that, and also see how these shoes hold up durability wise, because as you start to hack off weight in the shoes, it affects different parts of the shoe. So hopefully it doesn't affect the durability of the shoe. So that's one thing I'm kind of looking forward to testing as we start running in these shoes. The number 3 reason Abby and I decided to purchase these shoes and test them out is because of the offset. For those of you who don't know what offset is, it can also be described as the heel-to-toe drop. A heel-to-toe drop or offset is just simply the difference between the heel and the forefoot height in a shoe. So this shoe specifically has a 4 millimeter offset. So 4 millimeters isn't very much, so it's a pretty flat shoe from heel to toe. My Ride ISO 2s have an 8 millimeter offset, so my heel actually sits up a little higher than the forefoot of my shoe. I've never ran in a 4 millimeter or less shoe before, except maybe a track spike back in high school. But as far as a road running shoe goes, I've never ran in anything less than an 8mm. So I'm excited to give these a try and see what it feels like. From what I've heard, it's a more minimalist type shoe. Almost, I mean, you're not running barefoot, but it's pretty darn close to it in terms of how your foot is positioned against the ground. So I will make sure to report back on that after I put some miles on these bad boys. Number 4. I don't know why I put these back here. I should have just held on to it the whole time. But number 4 is the comfort and padding level. A lot of research that I did talked about a good job of, even though this doesn't have a ton of padding in it, the padding holds up pretty darn well. Saucony changed to this Power Run, which you can see here. And from what I've been told, it kind of squishes and then propels up. So I'm really excited to try that out. The old foam that they had was Everrun, and it was nice. It was very soft, like you had a nice landing, but I didn't feel like the energy transferred back up into your push off. So like you'll land nice, it'll feel good, but I didn't feel like it was giving anything back to myself as I was running. That was my personal opinion. I doubt everybody had that opinion, but that was mine. So I'm excited to see how the Power Run foam works. The other areas that I'm excited about with this specific shoe are the heel, as you can see here. There's a good chunk of padding in this upper part of the heel and also underneath the tongue. So that, for me, means my heel, which is pretty narrow compared to other parts of my foot, naturally, duh. But I personally have a narrow heel compared to most people. So I'm excited to have a little more cushioning here that might lock it into place. And another thing I'm really excited about is a lot of reading and reviews that I've done has described this upper here as feeling like a sock. So when you put your foot in it, it just kind of sucks in like a sock. And that could be really good, and it could also be bad. It could be good because it's not going to feel like you're wearing a shoe. It could be bad because as my foot swells, we'll see if the shoe allows my foot to swell, or if it's just going to lock it down, and that might cause some hot spots. So we'll see how that goes. I'll make sure to report on that. But overall, everything I've read and listened to about this shoe regarding comfort and padding has been pretty top-notch. Now, I wasn't going to do a number 5 because I thought 4 was plenty, but Abby talked me into doing another one, and it is not necessarily a performance metric. It's more of a personal taste, and that is the aesthetic of the shoe. This shoe is a pretty sleek design. It looks fast. It's got a nice, slick, just aerodynamic look to it overall, compared to some other shoes that are out there that just look a little bulkier. My Ride ISOs have a little bit of bulk to them compared to something like this, just as a comparison. But irregardless of that, the Saucony Kinvara 11 comes in 8 colorways for men and 8 colorways for women. I purchased these in the blue and the black, as you can see. Abby got them in the aqua blue and the sky gray / coral. So this is the aqua blue real quick, as you can see. And then this is the sky gray. Sorry for the glare. This is the sky gray / coral. Not a lot of coral on the shoe, but they did give Abby these extra pair of shoelaces, so she might want to change those out. I personally would. I like to have a little bit of a flash on my shoe, even though my blue ones don't necessarily have a flash, but I do like getting shoes that are a little more fluorescent. I did see that they came out with a nice red color after I purchased these. The 8 colors, they just released 4 new colors probably a week or 2 ago after we had already purchased these. So I was a little bummed about that, but irregardless, I'm really excited to give these a shot. And I also have noticed with colors that in the past on certain Saucony shoes, and the Kinvara was a part of that line, well, they'll come out with specialty colorways throughout the year for specific holidays. So last year I saw that the Kinvara 10s had a Thanksgiving shoe where they put turkeys kind of all around the shoe, and it was orange. And I also noticed earlier this spring they had a St. Patrick's Day Kinvara. Had a bunch of four-leaf, maybe they were three-leaf clovers, but I would assume four-leaf clovers for St. Patrick's Day. So that's pretty neat if you want something a little different than just typical colors. I personally am hoping they come out with the 4th of July shoe. I like red, white, and blue shoes. I think they just look classy. So be sure to check out that on the Saucony website. And as I said before, hit those sales because you can save some real cash. So that's it for the 5 reasons of why we decided to purchase these and go try them out. So what I'm going to do next is actually go put the shoes on and test run them. I'm going to do a first run review and then also a 25-mile review and a 50-mile review. And I'll combine those and put them into this video here shortly. So I almost forgot to voice one concern that I actually did have with this shoe prior to going and trying it out. And that is the bottom of the shoe. Now, a lot of people wouldn't be too concerned with this shoe, but I happen to live in Florida, and right now we are in the middle of rainy season because it's summer. And as you can see on the bottom of the shoe, it only has 2 rubber areas, one right here and one right here. So all the rest of this is foam. It's a hard foam, but it is foam. So I'm a little concerned that this here might be a little slippery on wet pavement, wet concrete. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I've never ran in a shoe with foam like this. Most of my shoes have a little more rubber pieces throughout. So I'll make sure to hit that up because I know that will be a big concern for quite a few people, especially my fellow runners down here in Florida. So let's do it.
Okay, so I'm back from my first run with the Kinvara 11s, and I have a few thoughts. I'm still a little out of breath, but not too bad. So first, it should be noted that I ran what I felt was the equivalent of my normal pace in my typical shoe, which is the Saucony Ride ISO 2, which is a little bit heavier. And the first thing I noticed right off the bat was how light these are. I felt like I was flying, and like I said, I didn't feel like I was putting out any more energy than I typically do on my normal pace. So with that being said, I averaged around an 8:30 pace. I'll show you guys my stats here in a little bit versus these and some of my previous stats in my Ride ISO 2s. Another aspect of the shoe that I found very exciting is how snug this fits. My foot didn't slip at all, and I have a narrow heel, like I said earlier. It was super snug, didn't move, and it had great response. The new Power Run foam, I like it compared to the previous Ever Run. I feel like it's a little squishier when you land, and then it springs you up more, which probably helped in my faster pace, even though I didn't feel like I was going any faster. I can't report on the foam aspect because the ground was dry, which is rare this time of the year. So hopefully on my next run, I'll be able to give you an update on if I slip or not with a wet surface. So those are pretty much my thoughts after my first 2 miles running in these. So far, I'm a big fan. We'll know more here in the next 8 miles when I hit that 10-mile mark, and then the 25 and 50-mile mark to see how they fully break in, and if I end up with any hot spots or anything. So far, I haven't. But right now, definitely worth the money.
Okay, I hit the 25 and 50-mile mark recently, and I'm going to combine the two into kind of one quick review here to top it off. So at the 25-mile mark, I got to run in the rain for the first time, And that was a big concern initially because I didn't know if I was going to slip with the foam throughout here and only the 2 rubber pieces on the ends here. I didn't have any issues at all the couple times that I've ran in the rain. And one of the times I ran in the rain, I went out and actually ran in a storm, which wasn't the brightest idea because there was a little bit of lightning. Thankfully, it was off in the distance pretty far. But I had a good torrential downpour, and I had no issues at all. So that checked that box off right there, that I can run in these in wet pavement, dry pavement, pretty much any condition. So big plus there as well. And as you can see, my shoe's a little dirty, but there's not a lot of wear and tear after doing 25 and 50 miles on the shoe in the foam, which is good. So the shoe is actually holding up quite well, and I'm pleased about that. So I'm looking forward to putting another couple hundred miles on these during our training for Dopey over the next 6 months. So after running 50 miles in the Kinvara 11s, I have fallen in love with this shoe. I like the 4mm offset a lot. I can tell the difference between that and my Ride ISO 2s, which are the 8mm offset. This just feels more natural, and I'm a big fan of it, especially because I strike up and from kind of up here and in. I noticed when I do switch kind of back and forth in my Ride ISOs, I tend to strike back here, and I think it's the way the shoe is kind of designed. But for whatever reason in these, it just feels right. So big plus. Another big plus is the sock-like feel that we had that I mentioned earlier. The only time I had an issue with it was when I tightened down my shoes pretty tight before I went out for a run. I did have to loosen them at one point. It didn't cause any hot spots or anything like that, but it just felt too tight on my foot. So I loosened it, and then I finished my other 4 miles after that without any issues. So my parting thoughts on the Kinvara 11 by Saucony is Saucony came out with a really good product. I'm a big fan of it, and if you're looking for a shoe that's lightweight, fast, responsive, and potentially going to take you over and break those PR records that you have, then you got to give this shoe a shot. I'm going to go out and get another couple pairs here in the probably next 3 to 6 months. That way I have them ready to rock and roll for our Dopey Challenge in January. And I'm hoping to smash some records with them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also like this video. And we will see you later, everybody. Take care.